Everyone, welcome to the SourceAbled Career Chat session. I'm your host. I'm Roshaunda Green. I'm an account manager for diversity and inclusion at Rangam, where I work on the SourceAbled team. So today we're going to talk about interview questions and recommended answers. So let's get right into it. Let me tell you about SourceAbled. It is an amazing company. I'm so honored to work here. We're doing some great work for a great community. So at SourceAbled, we focus on attracting qualified candidates with autism, neurodivergence, and disabilities, and connecting them with clients who have autism at work programs or provide accommodations for them to succeed in the workplace. It is such a rewarding job, and we have such great candidates that turn into consultants once we find them gainful employment. So if you know anyone who can benefit from this information, please visit SourceAbled.com, set up your candidate profile, and if you are a service provider, support or service provider, then you can also set up your corporate account and start sending us some great candidates. So we just want to keep the great work up and keep that momentum. So we just want you guys to share this because we are really doing some great work here. So thank you for your support in advance. All right, and let me tell you about the SourceAbled resume sweepstakes. I've extended it to August because we're getting some great prize winners. So in order to qualify to win the prize, you need to go to SourceAbled.com, create your candidate profile, upload your resume, follow SourceAbled on all of our social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we'll randomly choose winners each week. So let me tell you about some of the awesome prizes that you can win. You can win a SourceAbled computer camera cover. You can also win a wine aerator or a water bottle. So go and get your account set up and you can be the next winner. So let's get right into some more interview questions. So I know that when you're preparing for your interview, you're looking at that job description, you're looking at your resume, but you should definitely be practicing, some mock interviews. If you have autism, neurodivergence, or disabilities, then your job coach or your service or support provider or your caregiver, have them ask you some interview questions. You can also turn your camera on your video and start asking yourself the questions and practicing your responses. You really want to get your storytelling, down before your interview, right? Because your nerves can get the best of you and you want to prepare. So the more that you prepare, you'll have a better chance for success. It'll take away some of that anxiety, some of, calm those nerves down. When you're prepared and you're equipped, it gives you more confidence. And you want to come across in that interview as confident, as professional, and really, making the best of your, first impressions. And every first impression you get with each hiring manager as you go through the interview process is very important. So one of the main questions that you will always get asked in any interview is, what is your greatest strength? And you don't want to take any interview question lightly. You want to, answer every question to the best of your ability and really showing your capabilities. And especially if you're a candidate with autism, neurodivergence, and disabilities, you want to really highlight your unique abilities. So how does what you bring to the table, if we hire you for this role, how will you stand out from other candidates? So a great way to do that is to really find a strategic way to self-identify and talk about your unique abilities with having autism, neurodivergence, or disabilities, and how this will help you to successfully execute your role and to thrive in the workplace. And that's where you really have to own your whole self and be holistic in that interview. So when they ask you, what is your greatest strength? What you really want to focus on is your attributes that align with the job description. Everything that you say in the interview should be boosting your experience on your resume or your academic accomplishments and tying it into the skills that they're looking for in the candidate that they've highlighted in that resume. You have to just make sure that that's your main focus. So that's where that practice comes into place. That's where you'll take your notes, right? So if you know that this question is asked in almost every interview, then on your interview preparation sheet, which I encourage everyone to create, is to write some of these interview questions down, right? I've seen it happen a lot. The nerves can get the best of you and you can just go blank and just forget everything. So you always want to have a backup and be prepared to succeed, right? So that's where even on my resume, I'll customize it. I'll have a line item for a task that I successfully executed in a role, and I see that it aligns directly with the job description for a job that I'm applying for now. And then what I'll do is talk about those transferable skills. Maybe you worked in a different industry before, and you're changing from from the pharmaceutical industry, and you're changing over to the financial industry, and you're looking for that pivot point in the transferable skills that have that intersection of where the skills make sense in your new role and how you executed them in your last role, right? So think about that the whole time, the storytelling. Take notes, okay? And then what is your greatest weakness? It's going to come up. But you always want to find a way to highlight what you bring to the table and your strengths, even in the question about your weaknesses. Be very careful and stay focused on the goal. The goal is to go from candidate to employee, right? So everything that you say and do in that interview is going to get you closer to becoming an employee or further away from becoming an employee, right? So you're either going to stay a candidate or you're going to transition to the employee. And your goal is to keep, moving through the interview phase successfully. So when they ask you that question, what is your greatest weakness? So what you have to do is frame your answers around positive aspects of your skills and abilities as an employee, turning them into seamless weaknesses into strengths. Right. So what do I, when I say that, what do I mean? Perfect example for me. When they ask me that question in an interview, what is your greatest weakness? And, you speak your truth and you really think carefully and, be honest about this question. So for me, I have high expectations of myself. Right? So because I have high expectations of myself, I work really hard and I try to successfully execute goals and tasks, and I try to exceed my own expectations. I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with the person who I was yesterday, right? I'm just laser focused on being the best that I can be, and every opportunity I get, I try to really shine and excel and just do great work. So the way that that's a weakness is, sometimes you can set unrealistic expectations for yourself, and you can, and you have to just be able to identify that, recognize, and level set, so that I don't, spend too much time on a task, or I don't overanalyze, or that I don't, try to own that perfection syndrome, right? It's never good enough, and and now I'm missing deadlines, or I just keep updating a document, and it's never, and I never feel comfortable sending it. That's where my weakness. I have to identify it, recognize it, and course correct, and self correct very quickly. So having high expectations and having a high standard for myself, I have to make sure that I'm being realistic and completing tasks in a timely manner and being comfortable with releasing it. Right? So that is how I shared a weakness. But I also, if you listen very carefully, if you heard what I was saying, I have high standards for myself. I strive for excellence. I work very hard on, giving 1,000% in everything that I do. And that's my weakness. So, right. I didn't, sabotage myself, or I didn't, take away from any of my hard work, contributions, or academic accomplishments, right? I just focused on where my weakness is, and I also shared how I self-correct, course correct, and am able to recognize that. That's how you're bringing, your weaknesses to the interview, but you're showing how you're owning, that weakness and correcting it and still being able to be successful in the workplace, right? So when you talk about a weakness, also talk about a resolution to how you overcome that weakness and how you still can strive and be successful. That is very important. Okay, so another question that always comes up, doesn't it? Why did you want to leave or have left your job? So if you're currently working there, if you already left there, that question will always come up. This is a very, very tricky question. So you want to give an honest answer, and you always want to be positive. The worst thing that you can do to sabotage yourself in an interview is to speak negatively about a previous employer, a previous manager, or a negative situation that occurred that caused you to leave. You have to navigate very strategically through that answer. So what you want to do is you always want to focus on positive, right? Where you something that's always positive. You're striving to gain new skills, new job opportunities, more pay, or better benefits, or you were working for a smaller company and you wanted to work for a national or global company to provide you with more opportunities, right? Or you were in a role and you have reached, the highest pay and the highest level for that particular job, and you left to grow. That, these are all realistic things that happen every day. It's very positive, it's very honest, and just stay away from specific scenarios that are negative, and it really puts you in a bad light, because what happens is if you go in a negative place during that question, then it makes the hiring manager or the company that's interviewing you, it makes them think, well, if they're talking about their last manager or last company in such a negative way, then I wonder what they'll say about me. So what you always have to do is make sure that your professional presence is your main focus during the whole interview. Staying professional, and bad mouthing a past manager or company is very unprofessional, and it really kind of highlights a gossiping or a toxic trait that you could be displaying by just speaking your truth. But you have to know the balance of that and what is the reason they are asking you this question. Are you going to maintain your professionalism? Are you going to focus on always kind of positioning it that question in a positive way, and just thinking about your career development, your career growth, and your opportunity to gain new skills, to work in a different industry or a different environment. So that's where you have to really laser focus in on that question. And as I said, you can, even, write some of these answers down so you can stay focused. And even, if they say, well, you left for new opportunities, but did you search within the company? And that's where you can even look at how you're trying to gain transferable skills and, make a career pivot and, step outside of your comfort zone. There's so many different directions that you can go in with that question, and you have to really stay on the right track for that, right? Don't get comfortable. In the interview, you may be laughing and talking, having a great time and really connecting with the hiring managers or the interview panel. But always remember, this is an interview. You don't have the job yet, and you have to maintain your professionalism. So don't get too comfortable. right? Stay focused on the goal. I want to go from candidate to employee, and that should be your laser focus for the whole interview. And definitely conduct research to customize your answers, right? And when you look at a company's profile, their website, their career page, their social media pages, you can really understand what, the main focus, the vision, the mission, the values of that company is. Perfect example, like at Rangam, empathy drives innovation. That is our tagline for everything that we do. So why wouldn't I incorporate that when they're asking me my strengths, my weaknesses, why did I leave, and everything that my focus of my answers when I was interviewing with Rangam for my job. I knew that was their tagline, empathy drives innovation. So I'm focusing on innovative and creative ideas. I know that during my research that they're a global staffing company. I knew they had a division called SourceAbled, where they focus on providing candidates with autism, neurodivergence, and disabilities with jobs, right? So I knew that this was a very special and unique company that really was doing some great work and was trying to provide a much needed service to an underserved community. And that is where I was really able to pull my passion, my drive, and my experience with diversity and inclusion and connect that to all of my answers, and really focusing on my time working with different business resource groups or employee resource groups that were highlighting and providing great support and resources and knowledge for that disability community. And that was my connection point. So in all of your, interview questions, your answers should directly align with connection points from your experience tying into the company's passion, mission, focus, and drive. And that is how during the interview you're showing what you would do once you get the job and they want to see you, as an employee. So during that interview, just conduct yourself in that manner, like I'm working for the company and this is what some ideas, some creative initiatives, how I connect to what you are doing and how my passion can help me to drive, positive direction or efforts in your organization. And that's that connection point. That's for that research and customizing your answers and showing those transferable skills and those intersections of your past knowledge and successful tasks that you have accomplished or deliverables, and connecting them to that job description. Okay, so these are what I'm doing is really trying to help you focus on the top interview questions that are asked in every interview, preparing you for your response and letting you know how that answer is helping to shape your responses. Right? What are they looking for, and what are you sharing? And that's why, understanding that is very helpful to how you'll, how you'll answer those questions, right? So we have a lot of jobs, and I know that this is a career chat, and you giving career advice is great. Preparing you for interviews is great. But what's also great is knowing that I'm listening to this great information about, interviews and resumes and professional branding, but I need a job. I want to work now, right? So I have highlighted some of our IT jobs. And the great thing is that we have a lot of remote jobs and we're getting more remote jobs. And I know that if you are on career websites, some jobs will say career and then remote, and you click on it and then it'll have, at the top of that job description, remote until COVID. right? So a lot of companies are bringing people back. So just be sure to pay attention to that, because if the job says remote until COVID, you still need to live within a 20 to 30-mile radius, or based off of, where you live, maybe it's a 40-mile radius, but you have to be able to commute to that location. So pay close attention, because making sure it's saying 100% remote or remote until COVID, or 50% remote and 50% on site, right? So pay attention to that when you're applying, because you don't want to get selected for the job and you're in the interview process and they're asking the question, are you planning to relocate? Because our office is here and I notice that you live in a totally different state. So pay attention to that. So our jobs that we have are 100% remote, and if they're not, we'll definitely list them on there. But we have some great opportunities in Texas, and New Jersey, and Missouri, and in Illinois. We always have tons of warehouse jobs in Middletown and Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. We have a lot of financial jobs in Illinois, Michigan, New Jersey, and Virginia. We have a lot of clinical and pharmaceutical jobs. So as you guys know, with this global pandemic, an industry that is really thriving and booming right now is the clinical and pharmaceutical industry. So they have a lot of great opportunities in Massachusetts and California, Connecticut, Illinois, and New York, and other locations. So it's just a really great industry to work in right. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Virginia. I just pulled a few of our, hot locations for what I call our hot jobs, where we're looking to, well, all of our jobs are hot, right? We post the jobs on our site, and we want to get some great candidates to submit to our amazing clients, right? We want some candidates with autism, neurodivergence, and disabilities, so that we can connect them with our amazing clients who have autism at work programs, or who will accept their accommodations, right? To ensure that you're having a great experience in the workplace. So a lot of our IT jobs are remote. And that's a great thing, right? When you are thinking about remote work, you're in a controlled environment where you can just have laser focus on, your task, and you don't have to worry about the commute, which is amazing. I know I work remote and it is the best thing ever. I'm doing great work. I don't have to worry about commute, and I can just stay laser focused on my task. Okay, so we have a business intelligence, ETL, technical subject matter expert. We need some candidates right now, a lot of candidates. So for this role, you'll be reviewing and validating the technical design and business applications provided by the supplier. Okay, and we have a data scientist role. You'll be doing data wrangling, cluster analysis, shift variation, analysis gap, and you'll be working to provide information to multiple customers. Okay, and when I talked about our warehouse roles in Middletown and Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, so we always have tons of forklift jobs, assembler jobs, and warehouse operator jobs. So for the assembler job, you just have to have experience assembling, boxing, and lifting. It's a great company to work for. They will definitely fast track you if you're a great employee. You come to work on time every day, do great work, and have a positive attitude. They will definitely fast track you to direct hire. So those are the opportunities that you want to look for, right? You start contract, and then next thing you know, you're direct hire. They also have an amazing retention bonus. So the first 30 days, you'll get $200. The next 60 days, you'll get $200. And at that 90-day mark, you'll get another $200. So they have a $600 90-day retention bonus. Right? That'll motivate you to come to work and do great work, and make sure that you are in line to get your bonus. We also have a lot of project coordinator and project management roles, and these are in Connecticut, New York, and Pennsylvania. So the job descriptions were very similar. You'll develop a project plan, track deliverables and budget, provide support data analytics and process flow mapping. Okay. And we have over 100 data entry specialist jobs in Illinois and Massachusetts. So what they want you to do is be responsible for data keying, and you're expected to maintain a high level of productivity and accuracy daily. I know we'll send you a skills assessment, and you need to actually meet 80,000 keystrokes per hour. So you not only have to type fast, but it also has to be accurate. So that's a skill that you need for that role. We have a lot of lab technician jobs. These jobs are in Illinois and California. Like I said, that pharmaceutical and clinical industry, they have a high demand for a lot of candidates to fill a lot of positions. And it's just a great place, to be in, to get that lab experience. It's just something that will take you far. So one of our lab technician roles, you need to adhere to SOPs, GMP, plant safety, quality, and documentation system requirements. We also have a lot of lab assistant jobs where you actually get the opportunity to gain skills and grow in that role, and you'll be assisting the technicians in the lab. We have a lot of those roles. We have quality assurance role in Virginia, and this is where you'll perform procedural activities within the global documentation management system. Okay. And we have business analyst roles in Michigan and in Pennsylvania. So you'll support the deployment of manufacturing, lab systems, and other production supporting solutions. And these are just a few roles, right? So what I'm trying to really do is encourage you to go to SourceAbled.com, upload your resume, set up your candidate profile, work with your caregiver, job coach, support or service provider if you need assistance. Also on the SourceAbled page, if you need help at any time while you're going through the process, we do have a button that says I need help, and if you click on that button, then someone from my team will contact you and help you set up your candidate profile. So we're here for you, and we have some great jobs, and we want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of these great opportunities. So please feel free to contact me if you have any further questions or need additional information regarding this presentation. I'm always open to do a 30-minute informational interview with you. If you have applied for a job and you would like to email Roshaunda@Rangam.com, the job that you applied for in your resume, I will reach out to you and give me 3 dates and times you're available for an informational phone interview. I'll contact you and discuss the job with you and make sure to get your resume in front of a recruiter and account manager that job aligns with. Excuse me. And I may be the account manager for the job. So, but I can discuss any job on SourceAbled and to help you to prepare to present that to a recruiter. Also, if you're on SourceAbled.com and if you don't see a job that aligns with your skill set, academic experience, or your background, then still reach out to me for an informational interview. We have new jobs coming in all the time. And we also have some great internal opportunities that I can discuss with you. Okay, so definitely follow Rangam.com and SourceAbled.com on all of our social media platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I am on all the social media platforms. So you can follow me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Clubhouse. So thank you for your time today. I appreciate your support. Please share this video with people that you know will benefit, and join them, ask them to join for the next chat. And feel free to send me any questions or reach out to me for an informational interview. Thank you for your time and have a great day.